lot of these colors are relate more to crappie than anything else. And crappie have big eyes. If you've ever looked at a crappie, they've got, compared to perch or bluegill, they've got really big eyes, and they're very visual. They like to see something moving. That's where this Super Jamie, if you can see this, it's got a lot of stuff going on here. You've got two legs coming out, you've got legs on the side, and when you're jigging it, you're getting that nice fluttering movement. And when the crappie sees that, you know, they're visual, they'll come in, they'll key in on it, and when they come in, as long as you're paying attention and you're not flipping your eggs over here and making really abrupt movements, then you'll catch them. But that leads me to another thing that I wanted to tell you. When you compare crappie and bluegill, and one of our videos, the Minnesota video that I posted last year, if you watch it, anyone that doesn't know, it's two guys fishing on YouTube. We do some videos, but it's on there. It's a Minnesota video. There's a clip in there where Andrew Robinson and Keith Nelson are sitting side by side. One of them's right there, one of them's right here. They're both jigging. They're both marking fish. Keith thinks they're crappie because 5 minutes ago he caught a crappie. So he's showing, he's actually using a rod just like this. And he's really jigging. There's not really enough water to show, but he's jigging pretty aggressively. He's moving the jig up and down 3 to 4 inches every time. And he's working it, but he's not catching them. Now Andrew is sitting right there. Andrew's got a different style, jigging style. He's very, very small movements. You can barely see his rod tip moving. Next thing you know, Andrew hooks into the fish, and as he's reeling it up, Keith realizes and says, "I bet it was a bluegill." He brought it up, sure enough it was a bluegill. Not anything, Andy?
It could be good. Yeah. I got lift again. Sometimes it takes 3-4 times. Some preparation on it, try to get them to break. I've done a gill too, didn't really look. Respectable.
Yeah. Healthy fish. There's a difference there. The crappie, Keith thinks he's trying to catch a crappie. He's moving it, fluttering it. And the crappie sees that, the visual, and they can't resist it. A bluegill is different. When you've got a bluegill there and you're moving it too much, 9 times out of 10, they're just going to turn around and swim away. Sometimes they're going to get scared and take off like a bat out of hell, but usually they just won't bite it. So when you're talking bluegill and pumpkin seeds especially, you've got to really slow down your movement, and that's when it comes down to concentration, because if you're working a bluegill and you get distracted and you go like this, you probably just lost the chance to catch that fish. It's subtle differences, but, and again, sometimes you go and the bluegills are pounding. Most of the time they're not. And that's why, you know, you got to be able to adapt to the conditions and what mood the fish are in.